Hello and good afternoon. Yes, my name is Boris Plenske and I'm the founder and CEO of 123Fahrschule. Is anybody starting the presentation? Oh, I've got to click here. Okay, yeah, so we are Germany's biggest driving school, and we started the business a few years ago when we initially thought about developing software for driving schools, but we very soon have found out that this is also a good business to operate on our own driving schools in Germany. So what we have today, so actually we are more or less a technology company with additional operations. Actually, we are mainly in Austria-Westphalia, Berlin, Hamburg, and Saxonia. But we developed in the last few years our own proprietary technology stack to run a driving school, because the market in Germany is very, very fragmented. So compared with Finland, for example, where you have some major players like the CAP Group, yeah, in Germany you have a broad number of driving schools, and it's not possible to license the software to operate big driving school chains like we are at the moment. So that's the reason why it is necessary to have our own technology, and this is helping also to have some USPs in the German market. Yeah, so our mission is to consolidate and to digitize this very old-fashioned market in Germany, and we're doing this mainly with M&A. So we are buying smaller driving schools, especially for older owners who want to retire, and then we are doing some refitting and bringing them into our network of driving schools. So I'm not a driving teacher, so I'm coming from the technology and software business. I have founded several companies in Germany before, and I have also sold some companies. I have a team of very motivated and very also technology, but also for the education business, good educated people who know what to do here in this business. Yeah, and so we are really here in Germany disrupting the German market for driving education. So the market in Germany, it's a 2.7 billion euro market. For this year, we expect to have 20 million euros in revenue. So you see there's a lot of potential for growth. Actually, we are operating around about 60 locations. And we had a positive EBITDA in the first 11 months of this year. So we had some decision on optimizing the business end of last year. And so we had a really good shift in focus on profitability in the last 11 months. And so the company is running very well at the moment. So, but it's very important that you realize that we are operating these driving schools on our own. So we have teachers, we have cars, we have location. It's not about a franchise business or like somebody like a subcontractor business. From the German law, it is necessary to have this driving instructors. We are working in your company. It's not possible to have it like an Uber model. This is, for example, running in France for driving instructors, but this is not possible in Germany. But so we have a really stable business because so we have the instructors. We're even educating our own instructors. So it's a nice business in Germany for us. So for looking at the first half year, which we published on the website, so we had an adjusted EBITDA from about 500,000 euros with a revenue of 10 million. So from the numbers we are seeing at the moment, we will reach the 20 million this year. And for the next year, we are expecting around about 23 to 24 million euros. Actually, we have also high growth in driving lesson and also driving exams. And so we expect further growth for the next few years. So we are running a business which is also having parts beside the operation for private customers. So private customers is normal A and B, so the motorbike and car application. But we also have this Bildungsträger segment, which is the trucks and the buses. And we also even educate our own instructors, but we made some decision in last year to really focus the company on a stable business and not to growth. So we decided not to do any more M&A business for 1 year. So we took our time this year after this massive growth rate in the company to optimize the internal structures and also the internal processes and to bring all these different products together. And so this has been done mainly this year. The first half year was also already profitable. I will skip the next 2 slides a little bit concerning of time and tell you a little bit more about the driving instructor market. So in Germany, we have a very fragmented market. So we have around about 10,000 driving schools. And you can see on the table here that most of them are pretty small. So most of them have owners which are 56 years or more. And most of them have no family who will take over the business in future. So a lot of driving schools are looking for selling the companies or shutting it down. The market for driving education in Germany is very stable. So it's a 2.75 billion euro market. And even with the little bit weak economy in Germany, we don't see any reduced revenues in driving schools in Germany because it's necessary to have your license, and the money for driving education mostly comes from family, and so people are not really struggling to get the money for driving education because it's something what is happening only once in a life. So we are the leading consolidator of this market at the moment. And when we buy a driving school, we are focusing on the 500K to 1 million euro revenue size. And this has been working very well for the past. And I believe that next year we will start again buying new or adding new driving schools. We a little bit changed the model for acquiring driving schools, so it's getting a little bit cheaper for us in future. And it's already cheap because there's not so much competition on buying driving schools. But why are we buying them and not opening? This is because of the legal part in Germany. So it's not so easy to have a location and to bring it to the driving school business, because you have always to go to the town hall and to make some applications. And between the decision to open a location, a new location, and to run it, it can be 6 to 12 months. And also, it's a process with the students. It's the students who are beginning the education are taking 3 or 6 months until they get into the car. So it's much, much more efficient to take over a driving school, have existing students, and then to have an organic growth onto these driving schools. So in Germany, we have one main difference compared to other countries. We still have the theory lessons which are made in the driving which are made in the driving schools. So this is leading to the point that the area a driving school is covering is very limited at the moment. But in Germany, due to the pandemic times, we had the change. And by January of 25, unfortunately 1 more year, we will be allowed to do this education in theory also online, like in a video conference we are doing here. So Germany sometimes needs a little bit longer than other countries in the European Union, but this is already confirmed from the Ministry of Transport in Germany that we will get a change in the law, but this will take some more months, and so they will start with January 25 with allowing us to do this online. What is this doing for our business? Yeah, that's very interesting for our business because the covered area of the driving school is increasing significantly, because Normally, a driving school is limited by the time somebody wants to spend to travel to the driving schools for the theory lessons. But in future, we can do something like an Uber model with some pickup points where the customer will meet our instructor, and all the other things are done online, like also payments and subscriptions and all consulting the students and doing the online lessons. So that's really will change the industry in 25, and we are already preparing this to get more market share, because we believe with our digital first strategy, we can increase the number of students in our location significantly, because the smaller driving schools are not able to do this digital way of teaching. We already had some possibilities during the pandemic times, where we were also able to do online lessons. It was very successful, and the people were very sad that we had to stop this. But I believe when it's coming back, it's very interesting for us. So what we are also working on at the moment is to give the education process a bit better structure. So in Germany, people take a lot of time to get their driving license, because they are not really managed very well by the driving school. So you sign up, and if you appear to the serious lessons or not, nobody matters. So we are building up now, or we are improving at the moment our app to have a stricter management of this education. We also tried some 14 days express or speed courses this year, which were very, very successful. And so together with our app, we are having our own software app for students and instructors. We are able to change the way of education is done in Germany for the future. So we are also working on some AI features. So we have a lot of data points during the education, and it's always about prediction about the exams. So will I pass the practical or the theoretical exam? For the driving instructor and also in the theory test for the student, it's very, very difficult to estimate if the probability to pass the exam is very high or is low. And so we are actually experimenting with this machine learning and AI to get all these data points into a big cloud solution, and getting some feedback from the AI systems if the student will pass the test or not. And if he will not pass the test, we will give him some signals and say, oh, you have got to learn this and this again. And we are already seeing in the prototypes that this will work for the future, but there is still a little bit of work to be done to integrate all these systems into our software. So we have some software developers which are on our payroll and working for us, but it always a lot of other tasks which have got to share the capacity we have. So in this year, we were focused on stabilizing and increasing our EBITDA, optimizing our cost structure, and to have a better operations in our driving schools. The focus next year is to increase market share in existing markets, do some strategic investments in new markets and new driving schools, mainly which are in reach of existing locations, because we found out that that's much more easier than opening a new driving schools, which is hundreds of kilometers far away. And we will also strengthen our technology next year to have a good start into the new business for online theory lessons in 25. And I believe in 25, we will also start again to aggressively do M&A business to cover all major cities in Germany as fast as possible. But at the moment, we are waiting for the first draft versions of the new law for driving schools. And as soon as we have them in Q1 24, we will maybe adjust our strategy a little bit more. Yeah, so I already mentioned that growth is mainly done with M&A business for us. We also found out that the investment needs around about 36 months after the M&A transaction to earn back the money we have invested. And so it's very capital efficient for us to drive driving schools, but that's the reason why actually we're working on our improvement of EBITDA to get some debt financing in future for buying driving school and to have a countrywide coverage. The focus in 24 we already had. So to understand our business a little bit closer, and if you look at our reports, I will want to give you a short overview about our company structure. So due to the driving school law in Germany, we always have a local driving school GmbH, which is running the business. So we need some team leads, driving instructors for each company. And these are serviced by our 123Fahrschule holding GmbH, which is doing all the things which can be done centralized, for example, accounting, HR services, legal support, IT support, and all these things we don't want to do in the local driving schools. And in the holding, we are also doing everything for the future. So in the holding, we are thinking about future development of our apps and our business. And besides the driving schools, we are also educating our driving instructors. So in Germany, it's around about 8 months course to get the driving instructor. And mainly it is funded by Germany's Bürgergeld. So if you are unemployed, you are getting a voucher from the Ministry of Unemployment, and this voucher is about 25,000 euros for us to educate you as a driving instructor. And you're coming to one of the driving school as a driving educator schools in Germany, which are operated by us. So we get the 25,000 euros from the authorities, and you will later work for us. I'm smiling a little bit because this is a very profitable business. Because if you have 6 people in the class, the instructor and everything is paid, and any additional people in this class are giving you a nice profit. So we have sometimes 17 or around about 20 people in this classes. So that's also, besides operating the driving school, a very interesting business model. It's not so scalable like driving schools, because it's a little bit limited business. You need to also find people who want to get driving instructors, but we are doing a very good business in this area. So we have the technology and also the driving school education, which are all helping our operations to be the best driving school in the area. And so this is a very well working construction for us. So bringing everything together, so the investment highlights here for us, it's a very interesting market, 2.75 billion euros. The market needs to be consolidated the last few years. We showed that we can be profitable and also cash flow possible, and we believe that there's a very large upside potential based on this online theory lessons coming up and other changes in the driving school law in Germany. And this is already the end of my small presentation, and I believe we can go to the questions.
Thank you, 123Fahrschule CEO Boris Polenski. It will be interesting to see how digitization and a strong brand can steer the consolidation of an old school market. But now let's get Boris Polenski to the Q&A. Do we have you online, Oliver?
Yes, I hope I'm online and you can hear me.
Yes.
Great. Yes, we already have a couple of questions in the activity feed. And maybe we start with the market structure. So there is a question, why is the market so fragmented, and why hasn't anyone, probably apart from 123Fahrschule, tried to initiate consolidation?
This is due to the driving school law we had before 2018. So in the old law, it was like pharmacies. It was nearly impossible to build a group because there were some limitations on the numbers of driving schools you can run in one GmbH because it was limited to 3 locations. And actually, we still have a limitation to 11 locations, but with 11 locations, you can do 4 to 5 million euros revenue in one GmbH. And so this was mainly the reason for the fragmentation. And so there are other people. There are the Finnish CAP group is running in Germany, a driving school nearby us. And also there is the ECM private equity company, which is running the franchise business of Academy. So I would be happy to share all the market with them. But we are the most aggressive player. And the other problem is it's really different to run a big driving school than a small one. So what we have been working on in the last few years is really to find out how can I adopt the processes from running a small business to a big business. So if you are running a small hotel with 10 rooms, you need different software and different processes than like you're running a Hilton hotel group internationally. And so that was also the reason why we built up our own software, because there was no software in the German market which was able to cover to help us to run the company. And so that was the reason a little bit why consolidation is not so fast happening in Germany at the moment.
So just to understand, what was the idea behind the limitation to currently 11 driving schools per GmbH? Is there any good reason for that?
It's purely lobbying work. Yeah. So the small driving schools and their organizations wanted to protect the market. And when it came to change of law 2018 and in the first draft versions of the law, there was no any limitation anymore. But they were able to lobby some limitation into the law. And it's a little bit ridiculous. So think about Lufthansa needing one GmbH for each airplane. Maybe they have because some legal reasons, whatever, but it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. And is that also the reason that after the pandemic, basically the online teaching was again prohibited? The lobbying, or what was the reason there?
It was maybe somebody in the Ministry of Transport who was also more looking into the old business than into the future, and she was versetzt. She was brought into a different part of the Ministry of Transport a few months ago, and there's somebody new responsible now for the driving schools, and things are getting better now. It's really a problem of the German government working more into the old parts of the business and into the new digital things.
Yes.
Yeah, but we know it's done now. So we have a lot of they made a lot of steps now into the digitization of theory lessons, and it's like a train which started running. And it is already decided to have this in January 25.
Okay, and is so given that the law will change in January 25, are you providing a midterm outlook what that could mean for your business?
If I have the first draft version of the law, I would be happy to share this with our shareholders. But actually, we know some parts which might be inside, but it's not. You cannot rely on it at the moment. So I believe it will have a significant impact. There's also one other thing. It's about simulators, because you're no longer able to buy cars with manual shift gear. Yeah, and so parts of the education must be moved to the simulator. Also, this will be part of the law change. And we also think that I've seen the shortage of skilled workers was a question here. And we believe that with the law change that simulators are accepted for official education parts, we can shift a lot of percentage of the practical education onto the simulator. That's also very interesting for the future of our company at the moment.
So did I understand it correctly that in the future you will have problems getting cars with manual gears?
Yes. So main big manufacturers like Mercedes and BMW and also Volkswagen, the choice for cars with manual shift gear are so small, and so Mercedes already stopped producing manual shift gear. But you need this education because young people are buying older cars. And in Germany, we have a lot of cars with manual shift gear. So it's also pressure on the Ministry of Transport to change the law as soon as possible, because if driving schools have no manual cars, then it's no longer possible to educate this.
Yeah. You kind of answered the one question, is there a shortage of skilled instructors? You said that's probably not a problem because you can shift partly to simulators. So what is the biggest risk you are currently facing in further growth? Or maybe
it's still the skilled workers. Yeah. So even the shift to the simulators in some part of Germany, in Saxony, for example, it's so hard to find a driving instructor. People are already traveling from Leipzig to Berlin. It's 1 hour, one good hour with a train to make their education in Berlin, because in Leipzig, it's not possible to get driving education within a few weeks. Yeah, and the state, you must know that most of the instructors came from the military, from the Bundeswehr, and this was stopped with stopping the Wehrpflicht, and so we had a really 10 years now with not enough driving instructors coming into the market. And this will be a really big problem for the future. The simulator will help, but it's also very good for us because we can keep up prices. It's a very price stable business, because if you don't have any instructor and people have got to wait to get a free seat in the driving school, they are willing to pay much more. And we even still sell some express courses for 14 days, and we charge additional 499 euros for this. But people are buying this because they want to be finished very fast. And yeah, it's a risk, but it's also very good for our business.
There's a question about the competitive situation. I mean, you mentioned a Finnish company being also doing a roll-up model in Germany. Maybe you could give some more detail on the situation there.
Yeah, so there are some startups like Autovio here in Germany, but at the moment getting money for startups is really hard in Germany at the moment, and we are a few years ahead of them. And of course, there is a competition with the Finnish CAP group and the academy, but in every market you have competition, and so I would be happy if they are successful, because if they are successful, we are also successful. And so the market is big enough to be shared. I would be happy to have 100 million euros in revenue, and this would be only 5%, not even 5% market share. So there's enough space for growth in the German market.
Very good. Since time is running out, maybe just one last question from my side. You mentioned in your presentation that once you again reinitiate your M&A activities, you will have changed your model, making it cheaper in the future. So can you provide some detail how that is going to work?
Yeah, so I believe it's okay. Short answer. So we try to make it like a debt from the seller. It's a seller financed transaction in the future. So he will get some money later, not everything at the beginning. And the other part is that we have found like a prepayment business on our students. So if we shift students from an old driving school to the new one, we can make some money on getting this money onto our accounts for prepaid into the driving education, and this is also helping us from the cash flow. So there are some things we already tried out and which we have developed in technology this year, and we will see how it works next year.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the interesting insight.
Thank you.